We've gone through 2 evidentiary hearings with CARB now, and when we got into this thing, I think we were kind of thinking that we were going to push back on a regulatory agency that had gotten a little bit too big for its britches. That sound about right, Sally? Yeah. They are so much more than that. At the end of the day, these guys are a multinational, global criminal conglomerate. They are everywhere. And the things that they're doing, they've violated international treaty on some of the things. So I guess we'll just kind of back up and start from the beginning with CARB, where they first broke the rules. And they first break the rules by saying that they are not subject to coordination. Now, there are several criteria that an agency has to meet to be subject to coordination. And what coordination means is that the agency that is creating and enforcing the regulations will sit down with the local government and negotiate a way to come into compliance with those regulations that does not harm the local entity, whether that's the city or the county or whatever it happens to be that they're dealing with. It has to come into compliance with the local policy, not the local policy coming into compliance with the agency's regulations. So unless you can find a county who has a policy that we want to destroy our economy and put everybody on welfare, CARB is not following coordination. We've listened to testimony from different county supervisors, Del Norte, Modoc, Shasta County supervisors that have said they've never approached us for coordination as they're required to do. We've listened to several cities: Redding, Shasta Lake City, Anderson, Vacaville, Fairfield, Sassoon City, Dixon, Woodland. The list goes on and on. They have not coordinated. Now, CARB says that they don't have to coordinate because they are not a federal agency. Well, they are carrying out a major federal action because they are operating off of the Clean Air Act. That's one of the criteria that coordinates it. Another one that kicks off coordination is the fact that they're receiving federal funds. Now, the city of Redding, when they issued their letter to CARB and said, we're demanding coordination, CARB came back and said, we don't have to coordinate with you because we are not committing a major federal action. Now, about 3 weeks ago in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, CARB was being sued for violating interstate commerce law because they were creating a separate set of taxation and tariff for the state of California that didn't exist anywhere else. Now, that case was dismissed, but the case was dismissed because CARB said we are an entity of the EPA and we are committing a major federal action. So these guys are really playing hokey-pokey with this thing. They got, 1 minute we're this, 1 minute we're not. So these are the first very basic violations of law that we knew about before we started digging.